Take this overboard now.
Do T Squad, it's your girl Keisha, and I am here with this week's All Tea All Shade Real Housewives of Miami season 5 episode 6 review. I drop videos Monday through Sunday. Everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only, meaning my jokes. So if that works for you, then let's get into this review. So the episode begins exactly where we left off last week, with Lisa telling the girls that Lenny wants a divorce and that he's seeing another woman. Meanwhile, while everybody's in hysterics, Julia and Adriana are over at the bar feeding their face. They have no idea what's going on. They're hungry. They could care less. They was like, we gonna eat this food real quick and then we'll go see what all the hoopla is about. But we also find out via Lisa that she learned that the mistress followed her on social media. And I was like, oh, you skanks are really bold. Not you following the wife from your actual account and not a Finsta account. If you do not know who the mistress is, this is her on the screen right now with Lenny. She's obviously younger. According to Alexia and the conversation that was had in this week's episode, the girl is Russian. She has been to Lisa and Lenny's house, to some of their parties, child. And here is a screenshot of the girl actually liking a photo of Lisa and Lenny when they were still married and very much in a relationship. Like, you're a weirdo. You're a weirdo. He's a weirdo. Everybody's a weirdo. And just like you got him is how you gonna lose him, or vice versa. Like, cause y'all whole situation was built on a lie, built on scandal, built on, cheating, infidelity. Like, ain't nothing good gonna come from this. Lenny's gonna get everything that he deserves and more. And this chick, it might not happen today, tomorrow, next year, or 10 years from now, but that day will in fact come. And I felt so bad for Lisa, so bad, because I felt that hurt before of finding out that somebody that you love and care for was cheating on you. Like, it is devastating. And then when they start treating you like you're the scum of the earth, like you're the problem, like you did something to them, it's incomprehensible. Like, you don't understand like where all of this is coming from. Like, it's totally weird. So all the girls are giving Lisa advice. They're telling her to get a lawyer ASAP. Lisa, of course, is distraught. She's in tears. She's just trying to comprehend what's going on at this point, like, because her world has been turned upside down. And in her confessional, she says that Lenny told her, you and the kids need to go, and if you don't, you'll get a first row seat of me dating. And she was like, I really didn't see this coming. First of all, let's attack this. If you don't leave, you're going to get a first row seat of me dating. Oh, okay, I'm going to get a first row seat of you dating. Well, you're going to get a first row seat of me dating too. How about that? How about that, sir? You two can play that game. If you want to play it, let's play it. And I bet you I'll outplay you. I bet you I'll win. How you was having all them parties with all the girls around, you going to come home and it's going to be a party full of men around. How about that? Okay, you want a first row seat of me getting my back cracked by somebody else? Oh, because we can make it happen, sir. Like, because who you think you are? Who do you think you are, you big icebox shaped ass man? Like, boy, if you don't get out of here, please get out of here. But for Lisa to say she didn't see this coming, like, that's a lie. Y'all was going through issues last season. At the reunion, Andy was asking you about it. You were saying things were getting better. Like, you saw it coming. Like, he'd already had an emotional affair that you'd went through. So, I mean, you knew that something was going on. I think that she was just so in love and wanting it to work and trying to get that old thing back that she was just, like I said, just determined to keep her marriage intact by any means necessary. So Marisol in her confession was like, Lisa's house was always full of girls half naked. She was throwing these parties to make him happy. And now look. And I mean, like, I get why she was doing it. Like I said, she was young when she got with that man. He molded her. He was pretty much her only family. She'd already stated she doesn't have a close relationship with her own. So she was trying to keep her family, like I said, by any means necessary. He wanted to have Hugh Hefner parties. Okay, we're going to have Hugh Hefner parties. At the end of the day, he was the one that held the purse strings in that relationship. So what was she going to do? Because she knew if she didn't do it, somebody else was going to do it. But that's what happens when you're solely dependent on somebody else. So Adriana comes over and was like, what happened? What's going on? Her and Juliana trying to figure out what's happening. So they end up finding out what happened. And all the girls are basically telling Lisa, like, to focus on herself, worry about her and the kids. Guerdy is like, you need to go down this tunnel by yourself. At the end of the tunnel, it's going to be a rainbow, and just focus on you and the kids. Forget him. And I got what she was saying. I get it. But you have to understand that this lady literally just found out that her husband was cheating on her and leaving her for another woman. Right about now, all that worry about yourself, be strong for you and the kids. Like, great advice. She knows this, but it's not gonna soak into her head right now, because she's still in love with her husband. She still want her husband back. Like, so it's just like equating to me when somebody passes away and you ask somebody, are they okay? It's the most stupidest question ever. Like, that person is not okay. So all of that, hear me war, I'm a woman, I'm gonna get through this. Like, yeah, it's great, but at that time, she ain't trying to hear all that. I appreciate what Guerdy was saying. I love me some Guerdy, but all of them, honestly, it's just like, nah, that ain't what she want to hear right now, or what she needs to hear for me at that point, because she ain't listening. She still want to be with her husband. So you could tell that Larsa was annoyed with Guerdy. And I was low-key too. I was annoyed with all of them, to be honest with you. So Lisa was like, I'm in love with him. How could he do this to me? And she admits she want to save her marriage. And anybody in her position would. They've been together for almost 20 years. Like, nobody wants to give up on a 20-year relationship and you got kids with this man. So after everybody has a conversation, everybody separates and goes opposite ways. Adriana and Julia are together, and Adriana tells Julia, he got her young when she was a cocktail waitress and she was devoted to him. Everything that I've been saying, he got her young, he molded her, you know what I'm saying? And now he's like, she's old and out to pasture, and now he wants somebody younger that he can mold and do what he wants to do, pretty much. He got a new Lisa, you know what I'm saying? So everything that he put her through, he gonna put this same girl through too. Like, she thinking she hot shit, girl, bye. You gonna be in the same position crying like me. So, okay, girl. So Nicole and Guerdy both call their husbands and give them the tea. Anthony is like, what? Like, he is such a jerk. Why would he do that? Like, he had lost his mind. Guerdy on the phone with her husband, and she was like, explain to me why you men do that. Explain to me why you all cheat. Because, you men are crazy. Explain to me why you do it. And her husband like, why are you yelling at me like I'm the one cheating? I ain't did nothing. Calm your crazy ass down somewhere. Like, Guerdy was on one. Like, she was straight up tripping. Like, girl, your husband ain't did nothing. Simmer down, lady. Simmer down. Or is it something that we need to know about? Because you are on 100. Then later on that night, while everybody is preparing for Alexia's dinner, we see Lisa on the phone. She gets a frantic phone call from her mother-in-law telling her that 2 of the cars are gone, the driver is gone, and that Lenny told his own mother not to come to his home ever again and to take the kids. And I'm like, what? What is going on? Lisa like, huh? So apparently Lenny was kicking his mama and the kids out, and the mama then said that she saw the driver return with somebody in the back seat. It looked like it was a girl. So at this point, Lisa is freaking out. Lenny calls her and she was like, what is going on? You better not bring that bitch anywhere near my kids. And if you do, there gonna be problems. And I'm like, is this man on drugs? Is he high off PCP? What is going on, Lenny? No, you did not bring the new chick to your house while your wife is off working, and then you put your mama and your kids out? What is going on? That's why I told y'all, Lenny never wanted them kids. His mama pressured him into having them dang on kids. That's what it was, because he is not acting like a man that care about his kids at all. Like, he has absolutely lost his rabbit ass mind. His mind. And I don't understand how Lisa wasn't on the first flight back home, because ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Like, cause it would have been on some Renegades mount up. It was a clear back night. Like, cause we would have been boxing. Like, you got me messed up, all the way messed up. So Lisa hangs up on Lenny. All the girls, meet up for Alexis's dinner. Everybody's sitting having a good time. Lisa's mind, however, is elsewhere, of course, because she's worrying about her kids. Like, what is this man over there doing? Do he got this chick in my house? Like, what is going on? So anybody that's been cheated on and it's fresh knows that you are in literally a zone. Like, nothing else around you matters. Like, it literally is like Charlie Brown. Womp, 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 womp. Like, you can't focus on nothing else but the pain in your heart. Like, you feel literally like somebody has passed away. So at some point, Lisa gets up and leaves the table, and the cameraman is trying to follow her. She's like, no, not right now. And I agree. Like, okay, I understand we filming a reality show and this is what I signed up for. And, you all are supposed to capture my reality, but like, give me a second. Damn, like, Jesus Christ. So next thing we know, Alexia's bestie surprises her, and he then calls her husband Todd, who also surprises her with this expensive Bulgari watch. And it's the same watch that some of the other ladies, including Adriana, has. And Adriana in her confessional was like, the difference is I bought mine. And I was like, okay, girl, you bought yours. Okay, but it's even better when somebody else buy it for you, honey, because that's money you've saved. Like, don't hate, Adriana. I love you, but like, girl, let's not be a hater. All right. So then Lisa, we see, is like in a bathroom area or something like that. And she's frantically calling her nanny, saying like, where are you at? And the nanny is in the guest house. And she was like, no, go back to the main house, go in the bedroom with my kids. I need for you to see like what is going on. And the nanny, I guess, told her that she was told to go to the guest house. And Lisa was like, no, go to the main house to see what is going on. And I'm like, Lisa, I understand you're frantic and you're like losing your shit right about now, but that is not a part of the nanny's job requirements to find out whether or not your husband cheating on you. And you yelling at this lady like that is her problem. She is there to watch your kids. Like, I understand if the kids are not in her possession, so it's just like, go get my kids. But at the same token, like, them your kids. Like, fuck this show, fuck this trip. You need to get the fuck home. Like, I would have been left. I would have been told, Nicole, call up Anthony and have him get the chopper. We got to go. We got to go, girl. I got to get the heck up out of here to find out what is going on in my household. Like, absolutely not. Let me tell you something. If Lisa was black, and if Lisa had some real ride or dies, it don't matter where I'm at. If I'm out of state and some shit like that going down in my house, I'm able to call my best friends or my family and say, go get over there to the house right now. They wreaking havoc on my behalf. Like, we pulling up with bats. Okay. And somebody about to get laid to rest. Like, cause Lenny was playing. Lenny was playing in her face, behind her back, in her ear. Like, child, Lenny was playing. And at this point, you and her need your ass kicked. Like, I'm whooping your ass for old and new. And when I see that bitch, I'm fucking her up too, because bitch, you knew. Bitch, you was following me. And then bitch, you had the nerve to come to my motherfucking household. Oh yeah, bitch, you need your ass, bitch. And I normally be like, don't blame the other woman, it's your husband now. But when the bitch knows and don't give a fuck, and you being equally as disrespectful, bitch, and then later on had the nerve to then go and try to get a restraining order against Lisa. I know you lying. Girl, me and my friends would have been whooped her ass. Fuck that. Absolutely not. Nope. I want to fight her for Lisa. No. So back at the table, Alexia talks about, making sure that she was always straight in her life no matter what, like how she was always able to bounce back, make sure she had a roof over her head, a car, this, that, and the third, after, her relationships were over. And Adriana was like, basically, you got a $25,000 watch on from a man, but you sitting up here acting like, you just got it like that without him, and that you don't need a man for nothing. And I got what Adriana was saying, but I also understood where Alexia was coming from. Because, as a woman, I always state you got to be self-sufficient. My mom always taught me to be self-sufficient and have my own. So I understood where she was coming from with that statement. But I also understood where Adriana was coming from, where, don't act like you have not relished in the spoils of a rich man and not had to work. You know what I'm saying? So you've basically had it from both ends. So Alexia was like, but I can get it on my own. That's why I feel bad for Lisa, because I've been in that position. So Marisol gets up and goes looking for Lisa and checks on her and finds out what's going on. So Marisol comes back to the table and let the girls know what's going on with Lisa. And at this point, I'm not understanding why they all sitting at the table kiki and eating and not going to check on her and being like, fuck this trip, bitch. We about to go back to the crib and see what the fuck is going on. That would have made for great television if they all would have been on some fuck this trip. Everybody go pack up. Tell Anthony to come fly and pick us up, and we about to pop up. We about to do a pop-up. Pop up at that crib and find out what's going on. If all of them would have went over there, baby, that would have been some good ass television. Because the black girls would have most definitely did that, especially Atlanta. Them hoes would have got the fuck up and popped up at home to see like what the fuck is going on. And we all would have got there, whether the bitch was there or not. And Lenny was getting cussed out and jumped on camera. We all jumping him on camera. Don't nobody give a fuck. Press charges. Like, that would have made for great television. And I'm not understanding, once again, like I said, they just sitting there. Like, not rallying around her. Just sitting there acting like none of this is really happening, or like they really honestly didn't care. Like, I understand it's Alexia's birthday, but like, nah, I thought that was a little selfish. So Alexia owe extra ass time. So we got to call 911. You got to call 911 because a husband got his mistress at the house. Alexia, please go to bed. So the producers asked the girls in their confessional, did they ever think like Lenny would do something like this? Everybody was like, nah, except for Kiki. Kiki talking about some, yeah. I mean, just the shape of his head. You could tell he was up to no good. And this is why I love Kiki. Kiki a real one. Because that nigga got an oddly shaped head. His head is shaped like an Rubik's Cube. Oh, funny looking ass nigga. He straight up looked like a piece of crab. He looked like a lump of crab meat, his red ass. So Marisol, was like, Julia was like, let's play a game. I want to play a penis game. And Marisol was like, I don't want to play no penis game, but I got a game for us. So Nicole like, oh, here we go. How last time playing the game ended up, with people beefing. So here we go. And so the game is like, who is most likely to be whatever's on the card. So one of the questions was, who would make the least amount of money being a prostitute? And Alexia says to Julia, you know how to be a prostitute, you're Russian. And everybody was looking like, did she really just say that? So everybody mouths dropped, including mine, because I couldn't believe she said that. I was like, bitch, that is so racist and stereotypical for you to say that about somebody. Like, what? And then she stood on what she said and was like, yeah, I don't care. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to say. I say what I want to say. And I'm like, girl, that was so insensitive. Like, what? Alexia, what? Once again, I'm not understanding why nobody was like, girl, you cannot say that. That was absolutely 100% incorrect and wrong. Like, apologize. Like, that was fucked up. But everybody just sitting there with their mouths dropped open. Nobody's telling her she's wrong. Of course, Julia is offended by this. Like, you could tell all on her face. And so, Adriana's question was, who has the lowest standards in the group? And so Julia was like, well, Alexis has low standards of Russian women because she thinks we all are prostitutes. And Alexia was like, I was giving you a compliment. Further digging herself in a hole. So eventually, after going back and forth, she was like, I'm sorry, I apologize. We're all hookers. What? And I'm like, girl, that does not make it better. The next day comes and it's 9 a.m. And of course, Marisol is talking about drinking a screwdriver. Like, and then she low-key admitted that she liked to do drugs in this episode. Talking about she a consumer, not a dealer. Okay, girl. Like, all right. You playing into all the stereotypes about Cuban and Mexican people. Like, all right. So Lisa packs up to leave because she got to find out what's going on in her home. And we find out that night, Larsa was the one that came back to her room and stayed with her all night and cried with her until 3 o'clock in the morning. And I appreciated that Larsa, came and checked on her and made sure that she was good. All the girls are telling her, you got to take off your ring. You got to make a statement that, like it's over. And, she don't want to take off her ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, they rushing her. Like, I hate when people do that. Like, when you were younger and you had a bad breakup and your friends would be like, F him. Like, girl, you the shit. Fuck that nigga. We out here. Da, 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 da. And you feel like you're almost pressured to be like, I ain't tripping, I ain't hurt, I don't care. Like, like you feel like you have to act like you're not hurt by it, or like you not gonna easily bounce back, or like you can't like you gotta easily go out there and find somebody else, instead of just allowing the person to feel that. Like, you gotta feel that. You got to go through that. You got to go through the crying, the denial, the what ifs, the anger. You got to go through that. And I don't like that they're all pressuring her to just be like, fuck him. Da, 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 da. Yeah, it is that, but not right now. Like, that lady is not ready to take off her wedding rings. Like, she's just not. Like, now is not the time for that. Now is just the time to listen and be there. Because y'all all jumping on her back, telling her F him and you got to take off your ring. That lady ain't ready for that. She's not. And she was like, I thought I was going to be with this man for the rest of my life. That's where this lady is at right now. She's still trying to figure out what's 1 + 1 at this point. So she ends up leaving. And on the way to wherever activity they're going to, we see Larsa bring up to Guerdy what happened the prior day with Lisa, with Guerdy giving her advice to, just move on and worry about herself. Larsa was like, we know things that you probably don't. And Marisol was like, yeah, we've been divorced. And Guerdy in her confessional was like, no one is going to tell me to shut up because I have an opinion. Like, just because I ain't been divorced don't mean that I don't have an opinion on something. But I noticed she said, just because I haven't been divorced yet, girl, you got to be careful what you're speaking to existence, because we already know that this season you and your husband going to be going through some things too. So you got to be careful with what you put out there in the universe. However, as far as Larsa and Marisol was concerned, I get that, yeah, y'all closer to Lisa than Guerdy is. And to an extent, I understood where Larsa was coming from, because Guerdy was doing team too much, but all of y'all were doing team too much, in my opinion. But like she said, she still has a right to speak her mind regarding the situation. On their way to whatever activity they're going to, the lady stopped to get breakfast. And Julia is real quiet. You could tell something is wrong with her. So all the ladies get on the back in the Sprinter van except for Julia and Alexia. And Alexia apologized to Julia for her comments. And she was like, I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. And Julie was like, but I do. So Alexia was like, I'm so upset with Lenny and the Russian. I apologize. Basically saying that I was taking my anger out on you that I had on this mistress. But Julie was like, this comment, it was incredibly condescending to all women. And Alexia was like, Russian women have a reputation. And Julia was like, here you are drinking champagne, talking about your fabulous life, enjoying your expensive watch, and you lived off drug money. And Alexia was like, I didn't live off drug money. I was a victim of falling in love with a man that was a drug dealer. Don't use my past to hurt me. And I'm like, girl, I watched the documentary on Netflix, girl. You knew, and you was living that lifestyle, and you was fine with it. You did profit off of drug money. So let's not act like you did not. And at the end of the day, if you're apologizing for something, then don't go back and defend what you originally said. What you said was messed up. Yeah, y'all were playing a game, but it was the wrong thing to say. Just like, once again, people generalizing Cuban and Mexicans for being in a cartel or being, drug dealers or whatever the case may be. Like, that's a stereotype. You know what I'm saying? That is not appropriate. You know what I'm saying? That's just like saying all black people love watermelon. Well, guess what? I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't say and do whatever you want and don't think that it's going to affect others. So they going back and forth. And at some point, Julie was like, you're sorry right now doesn't work for me. So Alexia was like, okay, I'm done with this conversation. They get back on the Sprinter bus and everybody was like, are y'all better? And no, they're not better. Alexia then once again defends what she originally said about Russian women, saying that she watched some documentary on how Russian women like to come to the U.S. and marry rich men so their kids can be U.S. citizens and this, that, and the third. And Adriana hit her with a one hit a quit and was like, but you were in Cocaine Cowboys on Netflix. Like, make it make sense. Like, come on, darling. And Adriana was like, is prostitution more shameful than drug dealing? And Alex was like, what's shameful? Dating married men. And that was taking a dig at Adriana from earlier in the season when she had told her that the dude that she was talking to was married. And Adriana was like, now you're accusing me of that? She was like, I mean, if the shoe fits, wear it. So Adriana was like, but you were still married to Herman when you were dating Todd. And Alexia's like, yeah, but I owned it. You don't. You're a liar. And Adriana was like, how am I a liar? I haven't brought it up to him yet because his mother just died. Like, what I look like, coming to him about that when this man mama just died. So everybody's arguing at this point. It is just out of control. And Alexia is being a hypocrite right about now. She is on her high horse. And Alexia is getting on my nerves this season. She's very, very, what's the word that I'm looking for? Careless with her words. She doesn't care how she treats people. She gives you a very flippant I'm sorry, even though she still feels the way that she already felt in the first place. So her apologies aren't valid, aren't welcomed, aren't wanted. She's almost like a bigot to me. Like I mean, Marisol always, co-signing for her. But yeah, Alexia is coming off really unlikable this season. She really is. And she is a really big hypocrite. And I was so happy that Adriana called her out on her bullshit because she needed to be called out. Felt really bad for Lisa this episode, everything that she's going through, and I pray that she gets everything that she deserves in this divorce. I hope she clean his ass dry. I hope she do. Overall, I'm going to give this episode an A. It was awesome. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode of The Real Housewives of Miami. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.